Time now for Deep Dish, and comedian Damon Williams joins us here at the table.
Yes.
We were just talking. I mean, you're out in the south suburbs now,
right?
But you still a lot of gigs, and your wife's giving you a lot of material. She's funny.
Man, my wife is hilarious, and she can mimic people now. I'm trying to get her in the game.
Really?
Yeah, we want to be Lucy and Ricky.
She does really good
Martin and Gina.
impressions?
She can mimic people on the spot. It's
Oh my God.
it's a talent I
You
wish I
gotta
had.
get your social media going. Have
we
you guys
we
done
got some stuff. Yeah, we do
together?
little
I have to
foodie
check it out.
videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do.
We'll
When we
check
travel
that
a
out.
lot.
Dream team.
All right, well, whether we like it or not, our parents are a huge influence on who we become as adults, but how we see them change as we become adults ourselves is interesting. Of course, Elite Daily puts out a list called 14 Realizations You Have About Your Parents Only After You Turn 25. Now, some include, they don't know everything you think they do when you're younger, but they don't. They're still scared of being adults, too.
Right.
They've got past, they've got scars just like you, and they need love just as much as you. So what about you guys? Do you have any epiphanies as we've gotten to adulthood about stuff about your parents that you didn't realize?
Well, first of all, my mother is giving me lots of great advice. Like, she always told me, if you see trouble, go the other way, and that saved me on a lot of occasions. But she gave me, when I was really young, she did something that was really strange. She probably remember this, but she used to pinch my nose all the time. And she said, you should do this from time to time, because my father's nose, so she's trying to make sure my nose didn't grow to be this. And I'm like, that don't work, Mama. Look at my nose.
She was
Do you have
wrong
any
about
kids
that
yourself?
I have an adult, yes.
You've got an adult.
Yes.
Has he ever said, wow, I realized, thank you so much for everything you've done for me?
All the time, actually. My son's
Really?
real grateful because we had a great relationship, and I'm his hero. He told me, so that's big.
I think the biggest thing that I realized, my parents, for like New Year's Eve and parties, they didn't go out very much. They would just have people over at the house. They'd have a good time. As a kid, you think, oh, how boring is that, just staying in the house? As an adult, though, now I'm like, that is where it's at. Party at home.
Yeah.
You gotta wake me up for the countdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that it said adults are scared too. I feel like I had this moment where my mom, she basically went off on me, and no judgment, Mom, this is really, really good, because I realized that she's a human too.
Yeah.
She has needs too. She has fears and insecurities and problems that she's working through too. So it actually made me feel more responsible to help her and to be a part of her life as an adult. It's really cool.
I feel like parents are really fake it till you make it, right? There's no way that you know how to do that. And I feel like with disciplining and everything, when you're a kid, you just believe everything that your parents tell you.
Everything.
They seem so confident with it.
Yes.
But y'all are just faking it, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, everything a parent tells you, you will argue at school. No, my mother said, and she could be completely wrong. But you still believe that because parents are your first role model.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people end up always, we all still go home sometimes if we're able to do that. We can go home, see the parents if you're able to do that. But there's this realization too that as your parents are getting older, my parents are, one's retired, one's going to be retired soon. They're starting to travel the world a little bit more. They got less and less time for me. I think that they're like, they're wonderful people. I think they're like, we're doing our own thing now. We got you to where you are. Now it's our time, and amen to that.
Good for them.
I've been gone for 3 weeks, so I went to visit my mother yesterday, and as I was sitting there, she kept fiddling around next to me. She had her keys, like, I gotta go. I'm like, Ma! She's like, I wish I had more time.
at her house.
She's like, I have to leave too. I was like, I gotta go. I'm like, okay, well, it's like that. And who is this gentleman? No, she's on her way to church. I know, Mama. Okay.
We've got to talk about this. So social media influencers, they can be big business, and it seems like they're getting younger and younger all the time, with services available to teach parents and kids how to do it. So would you let your kid become a social media influencer?
I mean, social media wasn't as big when your kid was growing up,
Yeah.
but it's a dangerous game, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because I've worked with youth that are social media influencers, and some of them are young entrepreneurs and things of that nature. In fact, my son was on an entrepreneurial site, and he was interviewed as being a young investor.
Oh, cool.
So he was out there, but it kind of affected him later in life. So you got to be careful how much exposure you put your children to, because they have to live with the expectations. And social media is fake. And if a child is really under that type of pressure, then they'll try to live up to the scrutiny, and that's kind
so
of
true.
that's something to think about.
I feel like I would be okay with it, especially if it was, taking pictures with toys or whatever you were doing, if they wanted to be in commercials or something like that.
Right.
I think the thing is, you just always want to make sure that they feel loved no matter what. Like, not have it be dependent on how they're working, because I feel like that could be really toxic as you get older.
True, they're going to see all those comments.
I was about to say, you might
And
want to
just
mute their
guide them,
comments
right?
because the internet is so mean.
I like the toy one, like you said, but if they were going to be an influencer for like anything visual or vain in terms of how they look, like makeup or clothing or fashion, I think that's just too much pressure to put on a kid.
I know.
Because it's like your body isn't even what it's going to be.
Right.
I remember I went through so many stages physically, and to broadcast that and shed a light on it, I feel like that would be be tough.
I wish I had social media.
Looks like she had bad stages growing up. Anyway, go ahead. Man.
No, I was just going to say that.
I had a chunky moment.
One moment,
Right.
like
It was
3
just
days
for a moment.
after Thanksgiving or something.
Right.
No, I always pretended that my parents gave me like a little video camera when I was a kid and played around with it. I wish I would have been able to broadcast it to the world. I bet you were the same way.
Right.
You were
you
telling
had to
jokes.
sit there and look at your own stuff. Nobody saw it.
Exactly. But I bet you would have been a big influencer as a kid. You were probably telling
quiet,
jokes.
though. I was kinda
Really?
quiet.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it's
When did you
weird.
get
like
into
it's
the
so-
comedy thing then, if you were kind of quiet coming up?
I mean, I always enjoyed watching comedy. I didn't
Okay.
get involved in stand-up until I was 27.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Plot
Cool.
twist.
Are you happy that you weren't, so well known when you were younger?
Who said I wasn't well known?
Well,
I said. No, I was class president in 8th grade.
There you go.
No, but actually, yeah. I mean, scrutiny. I'd rather be rich than famous, to be honest, because anonymity is valuable, and as the further you all go in your careers, you'll see when you're trying to eat or you're trying to do something private or be with your family, it's tricky. You gotta have balance.
Who said we don't have to see that now?
I didn't say that.
I'm just playing. All right, David, thank you for joining us. I'm throwing
No
it back at
shade,
you.
no
I'm
shade.
throwing it back at you.
You can't go nowhere.